Long ago, the great sage Bhrigu was created by Brahma himself during a sacrifice performed by Varuna. Bhrigu's son was the sage Chyavana. Chyavana had a virtuous son named Pramti, and Pramti fathered a son named Ruru with the Apsara Ghritachi. Ruru had a son by his wife Pramadvara, and that boy was Sunka. Sunka was highly respected for his devotion, self-control, and knowledge of the Vedas. Bhrigu had a wife named Pauloma, who was expecting a child. One day, while she was alone in the ashram, a Rakshasa named Puloma arrived. In ancient times, Pauloma's father had once betrothed her to Pauloma, but later gave her away to Bhrigu in a proper Vedic ceremony. The Rakshasa held a grudge in his heart over this, and when he saw Pauloma alone, he decided to abduct her. Before abducting her, Pauloma asked the sacred fire god, Agni, who stood as a witness, "O Agni, tell me truthfully, is this woman actually Bhrigu's wife? Because her father had promised her to me first." Agni was in a dilemma. He did not want to lie, because that would be a dharma, and he also feared Bhrigu's anger. Finally, Agni said, "Yes, she is now Bhrigu's wife." Her father married her to Bhrigu with the proper rites and mantras. Hearing this, the Rakshasa Puloma instantly took the form of a boar, grabbed Pauloma, and ran away at great speed. The shock of this attack caused the unborn child in Pauloma's womb to become enraged. That very moment, the baby fell out of her womb. Because he fell out in anger, the child was called Chyavana. As soon as the Rakshasa saw the radiant newborn shining like the sun, he released Pauloma, fell to the ground, and turned into a heap of ashes. Heartbroken but relieved, Pauloma picked up her baby and wandered away in grief. Meanwhile, Brahma, the creator, saw Pauloma in tears. Out of her sorrow, her tears formed a river. Brahma named it Vadhusra, meaning it was born from the tears of a devoted wife. That river flowed near Chyavana's ashram. Thus, the great sage Chyavana was born amidst these strange events. When Bhrigu returned and heard what had happened, he was furious. He asked Pauloma who had revealed her identity to the Rakshasa. When she said it was Agni, Bhrigu cursed the fire god to become the eater of all things, both pure and impure. Because of Bhrigu's curse, Agni was very upset. He roared, "I only spoke the truth. By doing my duty, I have been cursed. Yet I do not wish to curse a great sage like Bhrigu, for I revere Brahmanas." Still distressed, Agni withdrew from all sacrificial fires and ceremonies. Without Agni's presence, the world fell into chaos. No yagna could be performed, and the gods could not receive offerings. The panic-stricken rishis and devas approached Brahma for help. Brahma then gently convinced Agni to return. He said, "Agni, you shall indeed consume everything, but only in your lower form. Your essential form will always remain pure, the mouth of the devas and ancestors, and will never be tainted. Anything offered into your pure flames will become pure and free from sin." Accepting Brahma's words, Agni returned to his rightful place in all homas and yagnas. And so, balance was restored in the three worlds. That is the old story of how Bhrigu once cursed Agni. Bhrigu's son Chyavana had a son by his wife Sukanya named Pramti. Pramti had a son Ruru with the Apsara Ghritachi, and Ruru married Pramadvara and had a son named Sunka. This is the lineage of Bhrigu, and here begins Ruru's story. In those days, there lived a great rishi named Stulkesa, who was full of compassion. Around the same time, the Apsara Menka had a child by the Gandharv king Viswasu. Menka, however, abandoned the baby girl on the banks of a river near Stulkesa's ashram. The sage found the beautiful infant alone, and, moved by pity, he took her in and named her Pramadvara. He raised her with all proper rites and ceremonies. In time, Pramadwara grew into a maiden of incomparable beauty and virtue. One day, Ruru, the son of sage Pramti, happened to see Pramadwara at the ashram and instantly fell in love. He told his father about her, and Pramti went to Stulkesa to ask for her hand. The rishi gladly agreed, and the wedding was fixed. But just a few days before the ceremony, tragedy struck. While playing with her companions, Pramadwara accidentally stepped on a snake, which bit her. The venom spread quickly, and she collapsed and died right in front of everyone. Heartbroken, Ruru fled into the forest, weeping and wailing his misfortune. As Ruru wandered aimlessly in the forest, lamenting and calling on all the gods to restore Pramadwara's life, a divine messenger appeared before him. The messenger said, "She cannot return once her destined life has ended unless you give up half of your own life for her." Without any hesitation, Ruru agreed. "I will give up half my life so that Pramadwara can live again," he cried. Hearing his vow, the Gandharvas and divine beings went to Lord Dharmaraja, Yam, who granted that Pramadwara would indeed be restored to life if Ruru gave half his remaining years to her. In that miraculous moment, Pramadwara woke up as if she had been in deep sleep. Then, on the auspicious day already chosen, she and Ruru were happily married, with everyone's blessings. Ruru and Pramadwara were devoted to each other, although Ruru lost half his life in the bargain. However, because a snake had killed his beloved, Ruru took a terrible vow to punish every snake he saw. Whenever he came across a serpent, he would kill it. One day, he saw an old snake of the Dundubha kind lying peacefully in the forest. Ruru lifted his staff, ready to strike. But the Dundubha spoke, "O Brahmana, I have not harmed you in any way. Why do you want to kill me?" Ruru replied, "A snake bit my wife, so I swore to kill every snake. Prepare for death." The Dundubha said, "But I am not the venomous kind of snake. We Dundubhas are only called snakes in name. We do not bite or cause harm. You are about to kill an innocent creature for no reason." Surprised that the snake spoke so calmly, Ruru paused and asked, "Who are you, really? You seem like a wise being." The Dundubha answered, "I was once a rishi named Sahasrapa. One day, I played a prank on my friend Khagma by scaring him with a fake grass snake. Angered, he cursed me become a snake, powerless as grass. I begged for mercy, so he said I would be freed from this form when I met a Brahmana named Ruru. Now you have appeared, and my curse is over." Saying this, the Dundubha shed his snake form and emerged once again as the radiant Rishi Sahasrapa. He kindly advised Ruru, "O Brahmana, it is never right for one who has taken the sacred vow of a Brahmana to kill living creatures. Your duty is to show compassion. Leave the wrathful ways of a Kshatriya. Protecting life is the greatest virtue. This is the path of dharma." The rishi then vanished, leaving Ruru with much to think about. He realized his error. After that, he gave up his blind hatred towards snakes. Sahasrapat also mentioned that long ago, King Janmeja performed a great Sarpayagna, snake sacrifice, where countless serpents were destroyed. But a wise Brahmana named Astika intervened and saved the Nagas. Curious about this story, Ruru later asked his father, Pramti, to tell him more about Astika and King Janmeja's snake sacrifice. And that was another wonderful tale altogether. Thus ends the tale of Pauloma's abduction, Chyavana's birth, and Ruru's vow, one of the many fascinating legends from the Mahabharata. With 700 episodes planned, this is the ultimate detailed retelling of the timeless masterpiece, Mahabharata. Don't miss a single chapter. Subscribe to Orifind now and turn on notifications to stay on this epic journey from start to finish.